Africa still faces a series of challenges marring its path to sustainable development and economic growth. To rectify this, the African Union has initiated several mechanisms to wrest the continent out of the arms of protracted wars, terrorism, and armed conflict that affects the continent's 5 regions. With this year's AU Summit set for 18th to 19th February, focusing on the implementation of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, heads of states will be expected to chart a way forward on its execution. In exclusive interviews with senior diplomats of the AU and United Nations in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, our reporter Steve Otieno sought answers on what could be the panacea to Africa's tumults and troubles.
At 30 million square kilometers, Africa is the second largest continent. It is home to more countries than any other continent in the world, 54 in number. It is endowed with vast natural resources. Some of the fastest growing economies are found in Africa. Despite the rapid growth in development witnessed in various aspects of its existence, Africa still remains besmirched and bedeviled so often by unwanted occasions of wars, terror, and conflict. No region in Africa is left behind. The Africa Union, the highest organ with the mandate to maintain peace and safeguarding the security of the continent, continues to put in place strategies and policies to counter this menace of violent extremism and terrorism.
For the first time, the African Union has come to have its own standing decision-making body, like the Security Council of the UN.
Sadly, there appears to be a misdiagnosis between the proposed mitigation measures and the reality on the ground. The number of coups in West Africa now almost rivals the startling incidents that took place in the late 80s and 90s.
This surge in military coups is unprecedented, particularly since the turn of the century. More and more, it is civilians that are bearing the brunt of these violent conflicts on the continent.
Also, there is the issue of availability of weapons.
Illicit weapons on the continent is a very serious problem, and it has made conflicts to become much more deadly and easy to start.
So when we talk about development, we're talking about security. So one reinforces the other, and also one affects the other.
Look at Somalia and the consequences even in a great country like Kenya and Ethiopia. Look at Mozambique. Whoever thought that Mozambique, peaceful Mozambique, would be today confronted with the kind of violent extremism and terrorist act that we see?
This misdiagnosis of sorts has resulted majorly in having several boots on the ground, but with almost no change in the situation. Beginning 2020, the West African region has caught the global eye. There is the spread of terrorism, recurrent and resurgent military coup, and a number of factors are contributing to this matter.
Another challenge has been challenges of political transitions, challenges of unconstitutional change of governments.
But it's not all gloom and doom. The continent has made strides and must be given a pat on the back for the instances it has gotten things right.
Throughout 2022, we actually must congratulate the Somali people, the Somali government, for conducting a successful election.
Wherever there is war, crucial facilities such as hospitals, schools, and government offices which offer humanitarian aid and services are affected. Climate change has further exacerbated the situation of those in need of humanitarian aid in the continent.
Programmatic scale initiatives around food security, around more resilient needs to face inevitable cyclical, more severe droughts. And without doing so, it will undermine the preventative work around more peaceable society.
A critical look into the countries affected by constant cases of terrorism revealed that something is wrong in the state of statehood in the continent, with most of such states lacking power to counter destabilizing actions by non-state actors.
Some of these catastrophic incidents of violence could have been avoided if only, you know, there is political imagination, if only, you know, there is visionary leadership.
For Africa to be the continent it deserves to be, peace, security and stability must be enforced and continuously maintained. Steve Otieno, NTV.